Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, dear brothers and sisters, to our program, The Spiritual Insight. And again, as usual, we have our guest, Sheikh Jafar Imran, who is currently in Tanzania. Welcome on board, Sheikh Jafar. And dear viewers, again, I give you Ramazan Mubarak. And also, I would like to say that today we have some very interesting topics to discuss, and I'm sure Sheikh Jafar can introduce those topics to us. Assalamu alaikum, brother Sheikh Jafar. How are you?
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Respected viewers, brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, today, as Brother Hassan just said, inshallah, we'll be discussing about in our controversy.
It seems like Sheikh Jafar has a bit of an internet problem, so I will start the introduction. Firstly, dear brothers and sisters, as we've said, every day you have the opportunity to give us a call or write to us on the number provided for any istikhara or any spiritual insight. Some of the viewers were a bit confused about this spiritual insight, so let me clarify this for you. So, first of all, this spiritual insight is a art, it's a knowledge, it's an irfan that is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to some individuals that have spiritually cleansed themselves from their soul. So they've cleansed their nafs, and now they have a different type of basira. So they have an insight that is different from normal individuals. I'll give you an example. For example, Ayatullah Bahjat. Ayatullah Bahjat had the highest spiritual insight, so he would be able to see the spiritual, let's say, what can I say to this, the spiritual value, or the way the spiritual shape is. So some individuals would have a shape of an animal. Oh, thank you, Brother Jafar. I was just explaining to the viewers about this other part that we are also running within this program, is the spiritual insight. The reason why we named the program Spiritual Insight is because of looking into spiritual problems, spiritual issues, and answering those. Now, whatever happens in this world, in this materialistic world, if you commit a sin or if you commit a good deed, it is to do with a spiritual energy. And if you commit a sin, sometimes you get sick. Now, you're not probably getting cured. Why are you not getting cured or healed? The reason is because of the spiritual illness that you have. So first the spirit is affected, and then the body, the physical body is affected. And I'm sure, Brother Jafar, you're aware of this as well. And yesterday, one of our callers asked us a question, which was, I would like to know what is the difference between the nafs, the soul, and these kind of questions the individual asked us. So we will address them as well. Brother Jafar, if I could ask you to introduce the topics that we would like to discuss. You got cut off on the internet.
Concerning the controversial issue, we had chosen to talk about ruh and nafs, the difference between ruh and nafs. Are they the same? Are they different? And what is the role of ruh, and what is the role of nafs? And in our akhlaq part, we chose to talk about the benefits of marriage that will be presented to you by Brother Zaidi, Faizul and Zaidi. And concerning Ramadan, inshallah, I will discuss about the nullifiers or mubtalat of fasting, which acts nullifies our fasting. And on Salah, inshallah, we are going to talk about Salah, comparing it to the issue of aeroplane, because we are told in Hadith, as-salat mi'rajul mu'min. Salah is the climb. Can I say the climbing tool of a mu'min? So you will use Salah to climb to another level of iman, to climb to a higher level of iman, till you pass away from this world, and you will get your reward in the day of judgment, and you will see how much far you've gone with this Salah. So without wasting time, because the time has already gone, and 15 minutes, it is 15 minutes past 23 on this other side. So I would like to talk about the issue of ruh and nafs. Yesterday, one of our viewers asked concerning this issue of ruh and nafs, and I would like to add some questions on it. What's the difference between ruh and nafs? That is the first question. The second question is that which amongst them, between ruh and nafs, will be punished and will face judgment on the day of Qiyamah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He comes and questions, or when we resurrect and be on the what you know what on the floor, on the world of Qiyamah, or on the earth of Qiyamah, or on the day of judgment, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala going to question the ruh about the deeds, or is He going to question the nafs about the deeds? So the answer to this question, we have three definitions concerning the ruh. The first definition says that the nafs, oh, we are talking about the nafs first of all. The ruh I will explain to you. The nafs is what? Nafs is just an additional to describe the thing itself. That we can say that, you know, akhriju anfusakum. Like in this verse says that akhriju anfusakum. Get out yourselves. So ruh is just the self of something. You can say that you know, this me, I myself, I can say nafsi. This nafs is the same person. So nafsul insan huwa al-insan. The nafs of a human being is the human being himself. So there is no difference between the nafs and the being itself. And this definition is also accepted. You can also say that it is allowed on both living things and non-living things. If you take a stone, you can say the nafs of this stone or the nafs of this water is the water itself. The nafs of Jafar is the Jafar itself. The nafs of a bucket is the bucket itself. So there is no difference between the thing itself and the nafs that it carries. And this type of nafs cannot die. The death is not accepted to it, because a stone cannot die. The death is only accepted or can only occur to a living things. So this is the first definition of nafs. Let's go to the second definition of nafs. Here it is used to describe human being alone. The nafs is used to describe a human being alone, not everything in the world, living and non-living things. No, but it is only used to describe a human being himself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُم مِّن نَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ. He is the one who created you from one nafs. And this type of nafs, not this type of nafs, but this second definition, or this type of definition is which we are talking about the only human being. That nafs is only used to describe a human being. This is the type of nafs that will taste death. Not the first one, but this one, the second one. So we are going to the third definition of nafs. The third definition says that this one is a weak definition of nafs. The one I was doing research and I saw that this is a weak definition of nafs, because the first one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talks about in our first definition, nafs of a human being is the human being himself. And we said here, where you had the verse that was written here is that Allah says, وَيُحَذِّرُكُمُ اللَّهُ نَفْسَهُ, and Allah warns you about Himself, that you should take caution on Allah. Allah sees everything. And this, the first definition, it is not accepted. The second definition, it is accepted for us human beings who are going to taste death. And it is only, it is only used to describe a human being. Yes, Brother Hassan.
So, Brother Jafar, it's very interesting that you said it's in the Quran as well. It's this
Yes.
verse that you read. We are made from one nafs, and this one nafs is there's a secret behind this. What does it mean by one nafs? And where there's a opinion and there's an understanding from some of our ulama which say that this one nafs is the nafs of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So everything that you see, the human nafs that's been created and then made into male, female forms, was from the nafs of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is something that maybe you haven't heard about, but I've heard in our Hoza from some of our ulama that they say that the meaning of this nafs, because when we say nafs, was divided into two parts, no, it doesn't mean that. From this one nafs came the nafs of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and after these nafs, then all the other human beings came out from them. So that is why we are also valued in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because our source is from the nur and is from the light of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we were in a void, and when this nur came into that void, and then from that void we came into existence. So Hajj is one of those signs of our creation. And if you also look at the reproductive system, it also shows the Hajj ritual as well, if you look at it properly. So when we say Allahumma labbaik, la sharika labbaik, indal hamda wal ni'mata laka lahul hamd, when we say these things, what we are actually saying is our creation. When we were being put into existence, so when the nur of Rasulullah entered the void, as it entered the void, that nur then, we came out from the darkness. And from the darkness, we said, the Rasulullah asked us, do you want to exist? Do you want to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do you want to come and become one of his creations? And then we all said in that void, yes, we do. Labbaik. We said labbaik, and we went towards this light. So this is why the Hajj is a representation of this creation of this nafs and how we came into existence. I hope I've been able to explain this to you, Brother Jafar, and the dear
Thank you
viewers
very much,
as
bro, for
well.
your addition. Yeah. Thank you very much, brother, for your addition. And when we are talking about this, that we were created from the nafs of the Holy Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Hadith al-Qudsi, he says that, O Prophet, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have created the heavens and earth. So we are
That's right.
created, it is because of the Holy Prophet that we were created. So even if we say that the first nafs that was created was the nafs of the Holy Prophet, that is a higher definition of definition of nafs. But on the lower definition that other viewers can understand is that we came from the same nafs, and that is the nafs of Nabi Adam. That one is also accepted. This definition is accepted, and your definition on the level of Irfan, inshallah you'll be one of the Urafas, is also accepted on the other side. But according to what I saw here is that when this person tried to describe the nafs, he said in the first nafs, the nafs, it is both it both defines a living thing and also a non-living thing. And the ayah that he brought here is that وَيُحَذِّرُكُمُ اللَّهُ نَفْسَهُ, and Allah warns you about himself. And because here the first definition is both accepted by non-living things and living things, so this is not the nafs that we are carrying. This is just to define something on itself. This is how it is. The nafs of a stone is the stone itself. Allah wants us about himself. It's not that Allah has a nafs or Allah has a what. Allah himself is a being, is a living being. So this one is okay, but this one is not. We cannot use it to describe ourselves. The second definition of nafs is when the second definition of nafs, it is only used to describe a human being. And here is where I said وَالَّذِي خَلَقَكُم مِّن نَفْسٍ وَاحِدَةٍ. So, and this type of nafs, or this definition of nafs, is the nafs that is going to test the death. So this one is accepted to us. We are the nafs that are going to accept. We are the nafs that are going to die. That is going to die. So the third one, which I don't accept it, he says that nafs is the ruh. So there is no difference between nafs and ruh. The first one we said it is accepted, and it is used to describe the thing itself, and it is both accepted in human and in living and non-living things. The second one is the correct definition, that it is only used to describe a human being, and this one it says that nafs is the ruh itself. أخرجوا أنفسكم اليوم تجزون عذاب الهون. أخرجوا أنفسكم is that bring out your nafs. And we know that it is not nafs that is going to separate from the body when somebody dies. It's not nafs. It is ruh which is going to get to separate from the body. So I don't accept this definition that nafs is the same as ruh, or nafs and ruh is the same thing. That one is, I don't accept it. So here we can say that nafs is the one, if we use the second definition, we can say that nafs is the one that controls the body action and reaction. The body itself is just a tool for the nafs, because nafs controls humans' desire. Humans' desire. When you feel that you need something, your body will just go for that thing and start eating it. But it is nafs that calls upon it. If somebody wants to do zina or fornication, billah, it is nafs that pushes the body to go and do zina, and it is nafs that is going to get punishment. That's why we have three types of nafs. Inshallah, we're going to talk about it tomorrow. 30 minutes has gone. So we have three type of nafs. We have nafsul mutma'inna. There Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'inna, irji'i ila rabbika radiyatan mardiyya. And we have nafsul ammarata bisu. Nafsul mutma'inna is the nafs that is sure about its good deeds. Nafsul ammaratu bisu is the nafs that pushes, or that always pushes somebody to do negative things, to do things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not accepting and Allah doesn't like. And we have nafsul lawama, a self-regret soul, or nafs that always regrets. It does something good, it gives us sadaqah, oh, my wealth has reduced. It does something wrong, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done so and so and so. And this is the weakest nafs of munafiqeen. When we see the history, we can see some people died before in the last moments of their death, they said, I wish I wouldn't have done so and so. This is not nafsul mutmainna. This is not the nafs that our imam carries. This is not it. But when it comes to ruh is just something holy that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed in us for our bodies to be awake, for our bodies to be alive, to get life, and for our bodies to be alive. So this is ruh, and ruh does not die. Ruh is just placed in our body for a certain period of time, for the period that we are living. After then, the ruh goes. The ruh will come out of our body, but we will die. But the only thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish, it is our body and our nafs, because nafs is the one that controls the body of a human being. That's it, bro. If you have anything else to add, we'll be listening to you.
Yes, Brother Jafar, I just wanted to add to the viewers, in Barzakh, we do not carry this body. This body belongs to this dimension, as we've discussed this before as well. The body in Barzakh is another body that will be given to us. So there are three parts to us. We have the nafs, we have the ruh, and we have the body in which the nafs and the ruh reside, for example. And one of my scholars told me very clearly that, for example, when the baby is born in this dunya, when he comes into this earth, so how does the baby know to suckle its mother's breast? It's the nafs the nafs that teaches the body, the brain. So it's the nafs. The nafs is not something inside the body. It's something outside directing the body to do what it has to do. And that's why when we die, the body stays here. We are just disconnected from the body, but we move into another dimension. This is what death means. Death means, and we discussed this previously in one of our programs that we did in Spiritual Insight. But again, before we move on, I just wanted to move on to the next topic. I just wanted to remind the viewers that, dear viewers, we have a ulama at the back watching this program, and he is waiting for your calls, for your messages. If you have any queries to ask, and we can answer them. Brother Jafar, is it okay if you had a question to ask one of our scholars behind the scene? Should I ask?
Yes.
Live
Just
on
ask,
TV?
no problem.
Right. Would you like to share with the viewers just something about yourself, so I can then ask
You just share the question with the person behind the scene. I'll be grateful.
I will, no problem. But I will let them know generally. So we know a brother who has a bit of a issue with his vehicle. So I myself and the other brother, we bought some vehicles for hire. And unfortunately, our business of hiring out vehicles did not go successful. So we want to know why this didn't go well. Well, the other individual wants to know why. I'm not really bothered about this, but so I will ask those questions with our ulama behind the scenes, and let's see what he says. Let's see from his spiritual insight what kind of things he sees and he explains, and I will share it with our viewers so that they have a better idea of what are we talking about. So Brother Jafar, if you carry on.
Yes, we have already finished defining and explaining the issue of ruh and nafs. If there is any viewer who have not understood or he has a question, then they can forward the question to the number that you provided there on the screen. So we move to the second part of our program, that is about akhlaq. Akhlaq is moral value and everything. So here we want to talk about the benefits of marriage. If Brother Hassan, you are going to share with us the benefits of marriage, you are going to be happy.
Yes, thank you, Brother Jafar. So the benefits of marriage are manifold. First of all, you complete yourself. There's first of all the human being himself completes his own identity. It's a very important thing that I'm saying. He completes himself. So he feels there's something missing. After marriage, he feels that he is now completed. He complements the other partner. So each partner complements one another. That's why it's very important that you marry someone who can completely complement you. If they can't completely complement you, then there will be some issues. But irrespective, even if you marry the worst partner, even then you can take the most benefit out of it as well. It doesn't have to mean that your partner has to be in sync with you. Just by marrying itself, entering a marriage contract, it has its own spiritual power. And there are some Jose students that I know that are trying to achieve irfani level, and for them to reach a certain high levels, the ulama, the urafa say that they should enter marriage, and only after marriage they can gain the accessibility to those spiritual levels that if they were still a mujarrad, a single person, they can't reach. So one thing is that your spirituality increases. That's the first benefit. Then there's dunyavi, materialistic benefit. Allah brings barakah into your life. He gives you more health, He gives you more abundance, He gives you more risk. And so physically and materialistically, it increases your life. And also you enter, there's a happiness that is given into your life and is blessed. So then your life has a purpose. Then mentally also there are benefits, Brother Jafar. And I'm sure we are both
Mm,
married individuals, and the viewers that are watching this program, they will understand a difference between a single person and a married person. The way they behave,
mm,
the way they talk, the way they carry themselves, the way they see the world. Now they understand. For example, a woman who's a wife or a man who's a husband, their life completely changes. Now they have a goal in life, they have a responsibility in life. And that is why we were saying in the previous program that those that commit zina, they're not serious people because they don't understand the responsibilities that are coming. And only then, after marriage, a man becomes a man and a woman becomes a woman. And this is the only way. You have to go through this process. By going through this process, you are able to understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. If you really want to understand how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Rabb, when we say Rabb, to understand his Rabubiyat, we have to become a father or a mother. And only then, when we become a father and a mother, we get to understand the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we have a child and we look at that child, and then we understand how much our Allah loves us and our child. Because in the hadith, as Brother Jafar, you mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us 70 times more than a mother loving her own child. So this gives us an insight and understanding of who our creator is. And only we can get this
mm,
marifa by entering the marriage. And that's why, even though it is not wajib, is mustahab, but then at some points it does become wajib. And I'm sure, Brother Jafar, you can share that point with our viewers. So this is very important, dear brothers and sisters, that entering marriage allows you to appreciate your creator. And also those individuals that do get married but they don't have children, and they also understand what it means to have a relationship, and they also get to feel what a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a relationship with us that encompasses everything. He's like our mother, he's like our friend, he's like our father. These are just examples, not that he is a father, he is a mother, or na'uzubillah, he is this. But from these relationships we get to understand the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By these relationships that we build, those blood relationships that we build, and those non-blood relationships. So marriage is a non-blood relationship. It's a contractual relationship that we build with our partners. And we get to understand this relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only through His creation and interacting by His creation. We gain the ma'rifah of Ahlebait and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I hope this is the main benefit of marriage. If you really want to follow the pure household, then you have to marry. And then you have to live an example of that pure household, the Ahlul Bayt. I hope that clarifies, Brother
Just
Jafar, what I mean by the
yeah,
benefits.
just to encourage our single viewers. We have a hadith from Aima alayhim salatu wasalam that says 2 rakats, 2 units of prayer that a married person prays, it's better than a single person who has fasted the whole day and who has spent his or her night, the whole night, just doing ibadah. So I just pray 2 rakats. It's better than somebody who does fast during the day and who stands and prays at night. Just 2 rakats. When a married person does or prays, it is better than the other person when if he fasts and fasts and he stays awake at night just doing ibadah. And concerning the issue of marriage, is that marriage itself or marriage on its own, it is mustahab, it is sunnah. It is sunnah to do it. It is mustahab. When you marry, you get tawab, because that's what the Holy Prophet did, and that's what Aima did. But the marriage, it becomes wajib when a person cannot control his or her own desires. When you feel no, that right now if I won't get married, then I'm going to do zina. Then it is wajib upon you to find a spouse, a right spouse, not just a spouse, to find a right spouse, a right person, and to get married to that person. I think, inshallah, if there is any addition, we can add on it tomorrow. Concerning the third part, are you ready for us to go to the third part, Hassan?
Yes, Brother Jafar, I'm ready to go on the next part.
Okay, fine. Now we are done with the benefits of marriage. There are so many benefits of marriage. Inshallah, we can talk about. We can add more in the coming session. Inshallah, tomorrow or the day after. Concerning the issue of Ramadan, we had planned that every day we'll be talking about Ramadan, because Ramadan is just another world. It's just another ocean that we need to fetch from it to strengthen our iman and to strengthen our soul and to add our good deeds and our thawab in our scale, inshallah. So here today is, I think, is on 11th. We've already entered the 11th. Now today is on 10th. 10th today or 11th? 10th.
It's the 11th. Today's the Shab of 11th, the night of 11th.
Oh, the night of 11. Okay, we are remaining. Okay, fine. From Maghrib, it is counted as 11. No worries. Yeah, ulamas, they agree. So we have today. We want to talk about nullifiers of Sawm or mubtilat Sawm. Things that, if done, your Sawm becomes invalid or invalidates the Sawm. Things that invalidates the Sawm. The first one is eating and drinking intentionally. If somebody just takes water and drinks intentionally during the day of Ramadan, during the daytime of Ramadan, then his or her fast becomes null and void. The second thing, if he drinks or eats something forgetfully, because maybe the person was off, he was a traveler, he reached to his home, but he forgot that, oh, you know what, I'm in my hometown, I should travel. Then he eats something unintentionally. That one is okay. It won't nullify the fasting. But if the person eats intentionally, it nullifies the fasting. For a mother who cooks, or a sister, or any person who cooks, and he or she wants to taste the salt or the sugar in the food, he or she can just taste it, then spit away whatever he took without swallowing it. If he swallows or she swallows, the fasting also gets null and void. The second thing is intimacy or jama', daytime. During the day, if somebody does it, jima', satisfaction, or intimacy, then the sawm becomes null and void. It invalidates the fast. The third thing is self-satisfaction. If somebody satisfies him or herself, as we call, some people call it wank, I don't know, masturbation or something else, self-satisfaction. Everybody knows about it. That one was also, that also invalidates the fasting. The fourth thing is that lying about Allah and Imam. When you say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this, or Imam alayhi salatu wasalam said so and so, or the Holy Prophet said so and so, and you are sure it is not from their sayings, then you are lying about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his prophet and Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, and that one nullifies your fasting. The fourth one is intentional staying in janaba, in the status of janaba and haid till sunrise. If somebody, let me say, at night, he or she satisfied himself or herself in a legal way, husband and wife, then he just sleeps without taking a shower or without taking ghusl, and he stays in that status intentionally till the time of sunrise, then his fast is null. His fast is invalid. A woman finished her days, let me say before Maghrib or after Maghrib, and she didn't see or she didn't observe any stain in her clothes, then she has to take shower before the adhan of the morning adhan, the adhan is subh. She has to take shower. If she stays in that status of haid till the sunrise, then that day it won't be counted as the day that she has fasted. So that day also is her fasting. Even if she will fast, her fasting is invalid, and she has to stay without eating. She did it intentionally. She stayed till sunrise, then she has to stay like that till the dawn, till the sunset or the Maghrib time. So once you finish your days, you as a lady, our dear viewers, our dear sisters, or you finish your satisfaction, you have immediately go and get shower and have shower before the morning adhan, so that when the hours you are clean and you can observe your fasting on that day. So the other thing is that thick dust entering the throat. If you see there is a dust, or sometimes some people open the vacuum cleaner and there is a thick dust in that, if you can't cover your mouth and that thick dust enters your mouth and reaches your throat, your fasting is also null and void. The seventh issue is that intentional vomiting. If you take something to make you vomit, or you insert your finger in your mouth, in your throat, just to make yourself vomit intentionally, that one breaks your fasting. But if you vomit unintentional because you are weak or you are sick or something happened, or the plane or even a long journey, for the people who have that discomfort, that one is okay, and your fasting is also okay. It's not that unintentional vomiting won't validate your fasting, but intentional will validate your fasting, will invalidate your fasting. So the final thing is that changing the intention or doing any act that nullifies the fast, that one is also invalidates your fasting. It also breaks your fasting. That it is already known. It's already at 12. Or you've already prayed. You've already done the Dhuhr and Asr prayer. Then you just feel, no, let me just break my fast. Let me just put an intention of breaking my fast. The fast is null and void, and also you are not accepted to eat anything till sunset, till Maghrib time. Or if you do anything, any act that we've already said here intentionally, then your fasting, you will also be breaking your fasting, and your fast will be invalid. So that's all, bro. I think I'm done. There is one thing that has ikhtilaf among us, the ulama, and that is sinking the whole head in the water. When you go for a swimming, you can swim on the surface of the water, and you can also dive deeply and swim
So
over there. So some ulama say it is not it won't invalidate your fasting. Some say yes, it will invalidate your fasting. ارتماس بتمام الرأس إلى الماء, sinking your whole head in the water. So because it has, some ulamas they accept, some ulamas don't. They say that it won't invalidate your fasting. That's why I have not mentioned it. So totally, I've mentioned 8 things that invalidate somebody's soul. I am done, bro. Do you have anything to add on this issue?
No, just I want to add, our spiritual inside person, the individual behind the scenes. So he's just informed me about the situation. So, so this person got scammed, and the reason why he got scammed is because, just to give a background to our viewers, we believe in the creation that we do not see, the unseen creation. For example, angels, the jinns. There's a whole surah about jinns, and there are many varieties of jinns. So jinns is like saying aliens, for example, aliens that we do not see in front of us. They have a different type of body, they have a different type of living lifestyle, etc. And just like in the human race, you see in the physical matter, you see us as the human beings, but then you see other animals as well, like monkeys, dogs, lions, cats. These are all made out of clay. Just like that, we have different creations made of different types of fire, different type of energies. So, Brother Jafar, so the person who said is that this person who was doing the car business, he got scammed because there's a genie attached to that person. And that genie is not letting go of this person. And that is why he confused, or this genie confused the driver who was driving the car. And that's why he was not able to drive the car properly, or wasn't able to give the money on time, or these kind of things happened with the vehicle that this individual had. And this genie is not happy with this individual. It's causing him, the jinn is causing him problem, and because the jinn is causing him problem, this will continue. So somehow this individual has to lose that jinn from himself. And the only way you can do this is you have to go to those, those exorcism. They do exorcism. So those kind of individuals that have the knowledge of doing exorcism, he has to be exorcised by such an individual, and only then he will be free from that jinn. So that jinn has attached himself, and it's not a good jinn; it's a dark jinn. And so therefore, he should leave this business. He should not enter this business, and start some other kind of business. So this is what the individual has said. And however, this person is a good person. The person who's looking at, the one who started this business, he's a good person. He has a good nur inside him. He's honest, and these are the characteristics that our spiritual guide has told us. So I hope it's helpful for whoever is listening.
Inshallah, I will convey the message. Inshallah, I will convey the message to the person, and I will make him happy, and I will tell him to change his business type because of the jinn.
Yes.
Okay.
But that jinn is not leaving that individual, by the way. He's stuck on him. It's not leaving him. And so, dear brothers and sisters, if you're watching this program, you might be thinking what kind of things we are talking about. But this is part of life. These things exist. A lot of things that you might think you wouldn't do, and then you do something out of character. There are sometimes external forces that are also interfering with your thought process. Not that they can change your mind, but how does Iblis make us do something bad? How does he do that? Does he control our brain? No, it's a whisper. It's a whisper. It's a thought. It's an idea that is instilled into your nafs. And then the nafs reacts. And when the nafs reacts, the body then reacts. And then you make a decision either to listen to that advice or not. If you say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, then you are able to free yourself. But just like the shayateens are able to do this, there are also other creations that we do not see. They can also at some points have interference with us. Just like there are some individuals, like human beings, they are able to enslave jinns. We say muakkal. You've heard about this, Brother Jafar, yes? There are some individuals, they do some zikr, they do some zikr for 40 days or something like that. And by doing that, they are able to take control of certain individuals. of certain
mm,
of these jinns. They make them their own ghulam, their own slave. And
mm,
the same is the on the other side. The jinns can
mm,
also sometimes interfere with human beings.
mm,
However, a human being is more stronger than a jinn. He's able to resist the impact and the attack of a jinn. But a jinn is not able to resist the attack of a human being because we are created from clay, and there's an effect of clay. I just wanted to. This was not part of our topic, but I just wanted to let our viewers know that these things do exist, and there's a whole surah jinn that talks about this. Therefore, we shouldn't just believe in what we see. There's some creations that we don't see, and they do have an effect on our character, our personality, even our life. Some people have died because of these attacks. Some people have divorced their families because of these attacks. What is magic? Sorcery. Sorcery is something to do with the jinns. They are doing something behind the scenes. I hope.
mm.
Sorry, brother Jafar, I had to explain this to our viewers just
Yeah, yeah.
because
Thank you
some
very much.
viewers are skeptical
Mm.
and they don't believe in these things, brother Jafar. They think this is all hocus pocus. This is not. Yeah.
Some of them, they believe on it, but they don't know how to explain to you and how to ask. So you've already opened the floor for the people who feel that they have this issue. They can talk about it and they can raise it for us to ask, for us to get advice from those spiritual, from the spiritual guide who is behind the scene. So coming back to our topic, inshallah, today concerning the issue of salah, we are going to discuss about the comparison between salat and aeroplane. And before our brother Faizul Hassan takes the issue or explain to us further, uh, previously I had already told you about the hadith that says as-salah mi'rajul mu'min. Mi'raj is moving from one point, from the earthly world or earth material, or from this level of the one we are, to the heaven. So salah is the only thing that takes you from this, that takes your nerves, that takes your soul or takes your body and ascend it to the higher level. So, bro, to kindly talk about it. Talk about this issue of comparison between salah and aeroplane. How is salah? How can we compare salah and aeroplane together? Thank you.
Okay, I don't think I will be able to explain it completely in this time because we've only got 7 minutes left. But I'll give a brief
Yeah.
explanation, and then in the next program we'll expand it completely. So
Inshallah.
one of our ulama in, I'm sure Jafar, you've heard of him, Ayatullah Karati. So I
Mhm.
learned it from him. He's the one who explained how we can symbolize salat. So he said salat
Mm,
is like an example of an aeroplane. And if you look at the aeroplane, what does the aeroplane consist of? The aeroplane has an airport, has a runway, and the aeroplane itself has two wings, and it has a cockpit, and it has a fuselage. And so these are the things that an aeroplane needs to fly in the sky. So if we use salat as an example, as an aeroplane, so the two wings of an aeroplane and the cockpit and the fuselage, they all mean something. The runway means something. The airport means something. And how does that represent with salah? For example, the two wings, what do they mean? One of the wings means iman. So you need to have iman as one wing that will help you fly in the sky or help your salah to ascend up. And
and
also you need to,
mm,
yes, ascend. And the other one is Iman and Amal, the practicality. You need to have both of them for the aeroplane to take off. Then also, you need to have a pilot in the cockpit. Now, what does a pilot mean? The pilot is the one where you are connecting your ahkamat with. So you need to get the control room is the maraja. So the maraja that's written all the ahkamat and gives you the controls on how to fly the salah. You need that connection. And itself, the airport is the pathway, the mosque in which your salat can take off, the runway. So these are some of the things. This is very briefly I'm explaining now because the time is short, but I'll give a full explanation, inshallah, in our next program. And this salat takes off. So this, just like an aeroplane, it takes off. But what makes the aeroplane crash? A missile. So what is that missile? Missile is riyakari. We talked about being proud. So
oh,
if we
mm,
Yeah, I will explain. So someone who does riyakari, what does that mean? Someone who prays not for Allah but to show people his prayer so that he can become dear in the eyes of the people, in front of individuals, rather than him praying for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's doing his prayers to show in the mosque that he's a very pious and worshipping guy, and therefore people should respect him, and he's doing it for those reasons, not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So while we're praying, and just for even a second, we think that, oh, I should make my prayer a bit more longer because this individual is looking at my prayer. So this is a missile of a shaitan that hits the aeroplane and it crashes. So if you want your prayer to ascend to the heavens, you should not at all think of anyone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Brother Jafar?
I remember there was an imam who was giving out example of showing off our prayers. He said there was a person who entered the mosque and he started praying with khushu, with very slowly, very, the person prays when he's really connected to the other heaven or to the other world. So this person was really praying with khushu, with with the calmness. Then some people entered the mosque and they started talking about this person. Oh, mashallah, Abdul Fulani or Ahmad is praying very good. Omar is praying very good. The person looked at them, then he continued for the first rakah, he stood up for the second rakah, he continued praying. Then when the person was praying, when he heard that people are continuing to praise him, he just told them, he just finished his prayer, then he told them, you know what? This prayer I have done it without taking wudu. And this is how I pray without taking wudu. If I take wudu, that will be something else. So this one I just prayed without taking wudu, and you are praising me like that. But if I pray after taking wudu, that will be something else. I will be seeing the malakut. I will be seeing the seventh heaven. So this one I was just praying. You haven't seen me praying with wudu, but when I was praying without wudu, this is how you are talking about me. So he was just praying in that mosque to show off to people that he knows how to pray with khushu, and that one is wrong. We, as you said, that we should only pray for the purpose of getting closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not because we want, not because we are greedy to his paradise, to Allah's paradise and bounty, and not because we are running away from, not because of running away from his hellfire and fearing his hellfire. We should only pray. Our intention should be only be that we are praying because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we should only connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through prayer.
That's very nice, Brother Jafar. I will now end the program because we've only got 1 minute left. Dear brothers and sisters, thank you for watching the program. Again, same time we will run the program. And if you have any questions, any istikhara, any spiritual insight, the example I just gave you, you can ask